Thank you.
Yeah, it was always going to be tough after the first leg, Eddie, but just general reflections.
Yeah, tough first half for us tonight. I think we were craving that first goal, we didn't get it, and when Manchester City get it, it's our task becomes even more difficult. I don't think we played well in that first half an hour. We were losing too many individual duels, and when you do that against the quality of opposition that we were playing tonight, it was always going to be tough. In saying that, we had good opportunities to score in both halves, and I think if you add up all our opportunities in both games against them in this tie, there's a lot of missed opportunities in front of goal, which ultimately I think has cost us.
Just one negative away from the result, Anthony Gordon, what does that look like?
Looks like a hamstring problem. I don't quite know how bad it is. There's enough for him to come off, so that's a big worry.
I get the front.
Was it positive of the evening, the number of chances that you created, even if maybe some of the finishing could have been better?
Yeah, I think whenever you come here, to create chances is difficult. But I felt we were very much in the game, even when we conceded early. I think Joe Willett then goes up the other end and has a really good opportunity to equalise. We don't take it, and that was sort of the story of that first half, with Sven Botman going close, and then Johan Wisser at the start of the second half, and we could go on and on. There was enough there for us, but of course, in order for us to get through this tie today, we needed to keep a clean sheet, ideally, and we obviously didn't do that with our first half defensive performance being not close to the level that we know we can play at.
Thank you. We'll go to Lee Ryder, then to Chris Waff, please.
Eddie, you played 5 at the back. A lot of people will look at that and say you needed to score a goal, but was the aim with that to try and stay in the game in the early stages? I know that didn't work, but
yeah, the aim to play 5 at the back it's irrelevant really in terms of what number you have at the back. It's how you adapt that to the game, and we were trying to attack tonight. I think that was quite clear. But of course, you need to, as I said, we needed to defend well, and part of playing 5 was to try and help us defend. Now that wouldn't be necessarily obvious from what you saw in the first half an hour. But the goals were strange, that they're not necessarily coming from pressure. I didn't necessarily feel a goal was coming, but individual mistakes and errors. Didn't like the way the goals happened, and I don't like the final actions. So that's something following on from Liverpool, quite similar really. A worrying trend the last 2 games.
Just going to ask a quick one as well on the fans. Even at 5-0 down, they were there for you. They were chanting your name behind the players. Just a quick tribute to them, I guess. Yeah,
I've just said there in a previous interview how good they were tonight. I thought they were incredible, because it's very easy at 3-0 down and 5-0 down in the tie to be negative or to have a reaction that doesn't help the players on the pitch. But I thought, to a man, they were magnificent. They applauded the players off at the end. In part, I think that's down to the second half performance, but we've got a very, very special group of supporters who never let us down, and a big thank you to them.
Thank you. Chris Waff, and then to Scott, please.
Eddie, it was obviously a huge moment of triumph when you won this trophy last year. How painful is it that you've given up that trophy, and how could you use that going forward?
Yeah, it is painful. I think we obviously loved the ride that we had last year, and lifting the cup and all the moments and memories that brought. It was an incredible experience, and we were desperate to do it again. I definitely can't fault the players' attitude in terms of what they've given. We are playing every 2-3 days. We're finding it difficult in this moment, having just played Paris, Liverpool and Manchester City away. That's a tough schedule for any team to face, and we're doing it with the number of injuries that we have, and that they're not excuses. It's just that's the reality, and we're missing some really big players, and I think you could feel that with the performance today.
Thanks, Chris. Scott Wilson.
Just I guess off the back of that a little bit, Eddie, I take the point that there are big players missing and things like that. Last season you had some real standout away victories at grounds you hadn't really been able to do it at before. This is obviously off the back of Anfield. It's been 2 difficult nights at kind of big clubs. Is that something that clearly you need to get back to that level if you're going to get to where you want to get to?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, last year we went to several grounds and we went into the games really believing that we could win. The only way you build that is by winning. So we need to try and get that feeling back. The team's been knocked in recent weeks. There's no denying that. As I said, we've lost some big players, and with that, you lose a little bit of confidence. It's funny, the last 2 games, if you looked at it in you actually really analyse the games, which I know you guys do, you'd go, we haven't been outplayed throughout the games, we've been in the games, we haven't defended well enough, and we haven't taken a lot of the chances that we've created. So we still believe that we're a good team. We just we need to protect confidence levels at all costs. That's my first thought.
Thanks, Scott. We'll go to Dominic and then to Martin Hardy, please.
Hi, Eddie. You made a triple change at half-time, Lewis Hall being one of the players to come off with Joe Willock and Nick Faltermeyer. Just what was the reason behind that, and was part of it to preserve those players and keep them match sharp?
Definitely with Lewis and Joe Willock, that was very much the thinking, because Lewis hasn't had a rest. He's been one that we'd have loved to have taken out at certain stages during this recent run of games that we've had, and I just felt this was the right time to do it, to make sure that we can keep him at his best level in the next games coming up. I think he's done really well to play the number that he has. Same with Kieran. We're trying to protect Kieran as we did at the end, and there's other players that we're trying to manage. But obviously with the number of injuries we've got, we can't do that as much as we would like, and that's where any injury to any player has a really detrimental effect.
Thank you. Martin Hardy on the front, please.
Hi Eddie, were you annoyed with the first half display, and where does the result leave the season?
Yeah, really annoyed with the first half display, because I think pride ourselves on being really organised, and tactically we want to be able to handle any problem the opposition gives us. But that first half, I just don't think we were good enough individually, and our duels, as I say, were off. That gave us huge problems. We didn't defend well at all, I didn't think. So, yeah, first half was really disappointing. Where does that leave our season? That leaves our season, we're still fighting on several fronts. I think the game's coming thick and fast. There's no let up for us. We need to get back to winning ways as quickly as possible. That's the only thing that gives you new energy.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Journey. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.